Business is about relationships. Money is only a tool. Business is about the relationships with everyone that we buy from and sell to and do business with, work with, and it's about a relationship with Earth itself. And for me, my business was the way that I expressed my love of life, and that's what made it a thing of beauty. After helping to save a row of Victorian brownstone row houses in Philadelphia from demolition that was to make way for a mall of chain stores and fast food restaurants, I was able to buy my house and started the White Dog Cafe on the first floor in 1983. I lived in that house and cared for that community for almost 40 years. Choosing a place, getting to know that place, taking responsibility for that place is the first step in building a local living economy. Living and working in the same community not only gave me a stronger sense of place, but a different business outlook, because I saw every day the people that were affected by my business decisions, whether it was my customers or my employees or my neighbors or the man-made environment or the natural environment in which I lived. So I was more likely to make decisions from the heart as well as from the head. And this resulted in decisions I believe were for the common good. And there was a short distance between me as the business decision maker and those affected by my decisions. And that's another principle in the local living economy movement, is to have that short distance. And for me, because business success is measured in how large your business is on continual growth, I for a while thought, well, am I just a big sissy because there's not a chain of White Dog cafes? But then I realized that what was most important to my own happiness was the authenticity of the relationships that I had with everybody in my business. And if I grew my business larger, that I would lose what would really make me happy. Building a sustainable and inclusive local economy is not just about a responsibility of future generations, but it's about connecting to our place, connecting with each other, and having a good time, creating local identity through local artists and creative entrepreneurs. And that's another principle in the local living economy movement, and that's make it fun. So there's a collective joy that comes from collaboratively working together toward a shared vision. My next story is a critical turning point in my career that demonstrates perhaps the most key point in the local living economy movement. So in 1986, the White Dog started buying from local farmers organic fruits and vegetables. I knew the importance of buying free-range chicken and eggs, but I didn't know about the atrocious way in which pigs were treated in our industrial system until I read John Robbins' book, Diet for a New America, and found out about the mother sows kept in these crates where they can't turn around or move or take a step forward, never feel sunshine, never have a breath of fresh air, artificially inseminated, babies are taken away prematurely, artificially inseminated again, as though they're pieces of machinery. And I was outraged by this. These are sentient beings. They're mammals, like our dogs, that have the same capacity for affection and love and fear and so on. And so I realized this was a violation, of nature to treat these mothers in this way, really a betrayal of our sacred trust to be stewards of farm animals. So I just came to the kitchen and said, take all the pork off the menu. I can't believe, because the pork that we must be serving is coming from the system, because unless you know otherwise, all the pork in this country comes from that kind of system. So we took off the ham, the bacon, the pork chops, and went about finding a place that had naturally raised pork, which we found. And then there was the plight of the cow and how they need to be grass-fed, moved to grass-fed cows. Finally, I looked at my menu and I thought, gee, we finally done it. We have a cruelty-free menu, and no other restaurant in Philadelphia has this. This is our competitive advantage. This is our market niche. And then I thought to myself, well, Judy, if you really do care about those pigs, if you really care about the environmental damage of the concentration of manure that's polluting the streams and the soil and the air, if you really care about the workers in these slaughterhouses and factories, if you care about the small farmers that are being driven out of business, if you care about the consumers that are eating this meat that's full of hormones and antibiotics, then rather than keeping this as your market niche, you'll share this information with your competitors. And that was a huge turning point in my life, because I realized there's no such thing as one sustainable business, that we can only be part of a sustainable system, and that we have to work in cooperation in order to build that. So I realized that when I came into the kitchen that day and said, take all the pork off the menu, that I was following the teachings of Gandhi and King, which is non-cooperation with an evil system. And that is the first step in social change, because once you refuse to cooperate, you have to build a new system. But the local living economy movement is about maximizing relationships, not maximizing profits. Democracy and decentralized ownership, not concentrated wealth. A living return on our investments, not the highest return. a fair price, not the lowest price, sharing, not hoarding, simplicity, not gluttony, life-serving, not self-serving, partnership, not domination, cooperation-based, not competition-based, win-win exchange, not win-lose exploitation, family farms, not factory farms, biodiversity, not monocrops, cultural diversity, not monoculture, creativity, not conformity, slow food, not fast food, Arbucks, not Starbucks, Armart, not Walmart, valuing life over lifestyle, and as the Earth Charter says, being more, not having more.